Honour your father and mother, the commandment says, not love your father and mother. Presumably, if this commandment can be summed up as respect for family, then the following commandment, you shall not murder, can be summed up as respect for life. But what does this respect really mean?
This is the love that Jesus talked about, which is self-giving. It's not about romantic or warm feelings. It's about how I choose to relate to someone. And you can love your enemy even if on a human level you don't particularly like them. I found it immensely helpful. One of my former colleagues used to say, thank goodness the gospel doesn't ask us to like everybody, it asks us to love them, and that's quite different.
I think it's quite important. Politically it's quite interesting that I have some of my opponents, for example, I will obviously have a dislike for in a political sense. And that will manifest itself in the things that I say, in the things that I report about their doings, not about their personal circumstances, but if there is anything I can do to undermine, if you like, their relevance in a political sense, I will do that. However, one, it has to be true. Two, I think in my own circumstances, it must not be personal. And I know some of my opponents that I have actually been quite robust about, but a number of them I have the greatest respect for, because in their personal dealings, in their integrity, I trust.
I don't think I don't like anyone. I like to see the good in people rather than the bad in people. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's changed over the last sort of 18 months or so. I'd like to think that's always been a characteristic that I've had myself, to be able to look at people in that way. And I think in certain times when you're having that heated conversation, or you see something, or you watch the news, it's very easy to prejudge before you know the whole picture.
Depends on the situation, but I have I suppose a soulmate that I would go and talk to and pray through things, really.
That however much we may not like people, and I think being individual humans, we will never like everybody, that I hope God understands that at least we try and show them love, even if they would not be our first choice for friends.
Paul says, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Worth considering at the very least, next time you want to tear your hair out.